All right, guys, in this episode of the Let's Assess podcast, we have Brad back on to talk about his amazing weight loss transformation that he's been going through in the last 6 months. So let's jump right into it.
Look, I don't want to talk. How you try and press the kid and read it, you was soft.
All right, guys, welcome back to yet another episode of Let's Assess podcast. Today, like we stated, we have Brad in the shop here. We're going to talk to him about what he's been going through. But first, before we get into it, please like, subscribe, share to a friend. This podcast will be on your favorite podcast streaming platform. That's a tongue twister for me. So before we get into it, for those of you who don't know, who don't follow us on Instagram, Brad has lost a significant amount of weight in a very, very, very short time. Obviously, Brad's my brother, if you don't know, and I just want to say I'm really proud of him. He's made a lot of crazy changes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So before we dive into that, what have you been up to for the people that were watching the winter podcast?
We did a podcast. I think I was on almost every podcast this winter. Been working up in Steamboat, so kind of been away from you guys, and it's just a nightmare logistically to get it figured out to come over and shoot a podcast. But it's Memorial Day weekend, so we got some time together and got the boys back together. So figured be a good time to get on the mics and shoot a video.
Yeah, the mud season's kind of weird because we don't really have like anything that we all particularly do together. So it's kind of like, oh, what's everybody doing? Oh, okay. So no, this was a good weekend to get everybody back together. And kind of watching you go through your transformation was pretty crazy. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, we posted the video, and we'll put it on the screen right now, of the transformation. People that see him every day, I don't know. I think people that see you every day still are like, Jesus, like that's a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. It's not really normal for me yet, though. I feel like it's normal for you and my friends and people I'm around.
Yep.
It's kind of normal. It's still not there for me yet. Just get used to being, a certain shape.
Yeah.
And then it's, you got to reteach the brain that you're not that shape anymore. I guess.
It was crazy watching you ride this winter because you could tell that there was like a lot of adjustment going on in your body and like your health and lifestyle and everything. So like that adjustment was, I don't know, not like fun to watch, but kind of just crazy to sit back and watch what you go through too. Like,
yeah, it was, for the first time ever, my physical, my endurance and everything could outlast my riding abilities. My what?
Your want to ride for that long?
Yeah. I wouldn't get tired super often, but
yeah, it helped.
I'd get stuck before I got tired is what I'm saying.
Get stuck and then get real tired.
Yeah.
So for the people that saw the video on Instagram, we just put it on the screen here. So many people reached out. They're like, how'd you do it? The people we work with are asking how you did it. Friends, family, they're like, holy smokes, that's ridiculous. So we wanted to shoot a podcast and kind of explain, not into super amounts of detail on how you did it, but let's dive back. So what made you like want to do this and get that dedicated to it? Because 100 pounds in 6 months, you got to be and I'll just say this now because I can already see it. No Ozempic, no drugs.
I got you one time with that, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, dang, maybe I should.
Yeah, I was like,
I get on those.
Quiet. It was like 2 a.m. I'm like, dude, it's just Ozempic. He's like, really?
So good.
Yeah, but no drugs, no steroids,
all natural.
All natural.
Yep.
Yeah. So talk about it. What got you in the mind or the headspace to really want to commit and do this?
I think to fully understand it, you have to look like a couple years back.
Yeah.
Back in college, we lifted a lot and everything, and I decided that I was tired of being the, offensive lineman build, and I wanted to lean down and get back to like the linebacker build that I've never been at. And so I started cutting, and I had probably 2 months of decent cutting under me. And then my bicep, this upper tendon essentially was one good set of curls away from busting into two.
Gotcha.
So I had to quit lifting. We're 4 surgeries in now.
And you had surgeries before that.
Yeah, I had 2 before that, and then I had to get 2 more. So yeah, this arm has been through quite a bit.
And was that like something you did lifting or something like what
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, what I think it was a mixture of lifting and then high school sports.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, he threw me a full court pass, and I tried to like Odell,
Gotcha.
snag it over my head.
Yep.
And it just yanked everything back, and there was a pop, and then ever since then it hasn't been the same.
Gotcha.
Until now, and you know,
as normal as it can be, at least.
yeah. I mean,
it's never
always
never
room for
100%.
growth, but
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's like I had that desire, and then I had to essentially quit, not by choice, but you can't lift for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. Never could get back on the wagon after that, and then got into some bad habits of drinking and just being around people that weren't the best for me at the time.
And then the drinking led, like it does to everyone, eating. Because it's
Drinking
like your
led
willpower
to-
goes out the window.
Yeah, that, and it's like if you're gonna continue drinking like I was, there's like no sense even trying. Is the way
Yeah.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
So
You're not eating good. You're like
Yeah.
you're just eating a lot, like all that. Yeah.
you're making a lot of late night Mickey D's runs.
Yeah. And Domino's is
Yeah.
coming to the house a lot.
yeah, they know you on a first name basis. They
The
ask you.
lava cake is so good.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. So it's like I've always had that side of me that's wanted to be, in shape. I've been fat my whole life. Wanted to kind of lean out and everything. A couple years ago, it didn't happen. Then I finally got the desire to get back in the gym and get rid of a lot of bad things in my life. And
Would you say you were like a kind of a all-time low?
Yeah, no, 100%.
What
And I think a
pushed
lot
you-
of that was my decisions that led to that.
Yeah. So you think you made that decision of I just want to be better, or what kind of helped push you into that?
Well, it's like I could tell. I don't know if I ever told you, but it's like I would always think to myself, I could feel like a storm brewing.
Gotcha.
Like early stages before the lightning starts to, before it's a hurricane or whatever. I could see that I wanted to get back in the gym and everything, and just tired of the way I looked and felt and everything, and realized that what I was currently doing was not a long-term success plan for anything.
Yeah.
And I think like not only health-wise, but just your life. Like
Yeah.
it was, your work was affected, your desire to like hang out with your friends was affected, because now, and I knew it going in, but once you've come out of it, I've really realized like, holy smokes, you want to hang out, you want to go
Do things.
do things. You have the energy to do it.
Yeah. Well, my life, I wasn't on the right trajectory, I guess. And just about every area of my life I felt like was suffering, or at least could be better. And I've always had the desire to be in shape and everything. And, finally kind of just, put it all together finally, and without hurting myself this time around. And it's all part of God's plan. And I'm very grateful for, the bad seasons, because sometimes you got to have them to get to the good season. You got to have a little,
You got to have that motivation, if you don't dip down and see what that's like, then you don't have that motivation to like come back to where you're like better than ever,
and
right?
the
Because
discipline.
yeah, you got to have that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go back to that place. I don't want to be that person. Like, that's what changes you, right? So like, I think that's important that you hit that point and you're like, okay, I want to be better than this.
But what, like, do you think there was one like moment that you're like, I'm sick of this, I'm gonna make like a huge change?
I think,
Because here, let me just say this. You went from drinking a lot, eating a lot of bad food, staying up late, doing, what guys our age normally do.
Yeah.
And from there, like overnight, it seemed like you would not touch a morsel of food that was not weighed and perfectly good for you. You would not stay up late. You would not touch alcohol. You would not be around alcohol. Like what do you think in your mind? Just like, because I feel like a lot of people listening, and I mean, me too, there's so many things. It's like, I'm going to start working out on Monday, and then you never do.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to work out on Monday, and then maybe you work out on Monday, Tuesday, and then you quit again. Like, what do you think in your head that just, I've heard people say like you flip the light switch and then you break it where you can't flip it back. What do you think that was for you?
Yeah. I mean,
or was there not a single moment?
Okay. So what kind of led me to like deciding that it was, it's like building a storm, or, like the storm's brewing. It's like I was assembling all this wood to make this massive fire over years.
Yeah.
And what kind of the deciding factor for me to throw a match on all the wood and light it and burn it all down was, I think going to Nashville and, just feeling terrible in Nashville, not liking the way I looked, like just all of that.
There was a wedding we went
Gotcha.
to.
Yeah. Yep. And,
Not enjoying life at that point.
yeah, it was really tough. I had gone down a path that I'm very grateful for it, but not a great path to go down. Looking back, I'm very glad I did, but yeah, that kind of started it. And, so what was the other part of that question?
Like, just if there was, I mean, you kind of answered it, like the Nashville thing.
Yeah, just being seen like in public and
Yeah,
not feeling good.
That
and
was
all
kind of
Like,
the
that
straw
was-
that broke the
yeah,
camel's
yeah.
back,
Like,
essentially.
it was building to that point, and then that's where everything just was like, I got to change.
But also, it's like, not only was what I was putting in my body, whatever substances or whatever it might be, bad food, whatever, that created a lot of problems, but also like I still think probably the biggest transformation is how I've kind of changed as a person. It's almost like I was about to drown and my eyes were starting to like close up on me, and there was, the light was getting real dim.
Yeah.
And there was like a hand that reached down and grabbed me, and it was like God kind of pulled me out of the water.
Yeah. So speak on that for a second. So, you started coming to church.
It was like early.
Well, it was like Easter of not this year, but last year, right?
Yeah. And it took me a while to really, become a believer. And, I don't want to get too, I don't want to talk too much about that because we could be here for a while. But yeah, it kind of took me a bit to become a believer. And then I felt some things like this in my life where I was able to almost flip a switch.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's no human explanation. I just felt like God had kind of.
But what do you think about
through it?
What do you think about for people that are listening that are like, they're like on a bad trajectory in their life? And I think a lot of it is like, you don't have to be a crack addict and homeless to be on a bad trajectory.
No,
I'll tell you that
there's different
right now.
levels of
Yeah.
down, right? Like,
And whatever's
different
bothering
levels.
you, like if it's whatever it is, okay.
Right.
And I don't need to get into all that, but what do you think it was about your faith that really, really helped you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because you always have like family support, like
Yeah.
you had your
Yeah.
brother, you had your parents, like you had family support, but maybe there was just like something there that gave you that extra.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
made you want to be better. Or
Well, so once I kind of, I started going to church, like last Easter-ish, like spring, whatever it was.
yeah.
It took me a while to kind of learn more about God and learn his power for the good or for the bad of us, technically. So I developed the fear of God, let's just say.
Yeah. I like that.
That and, I've never ever feared anyone or anything. and I hate to sound like a tough guy with that, but it's like truly.
Yeah, you never really cared about anything.
I've never cared about rules. Like I've kind of just done things when, on my schedule, everything like that.
You love racing your car. You love going fast. You love just living on that line.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, in some things we can't give up,
Yeah.
Being late.
obviously.
Yeah, like you didn't give 8.
No, yeah, I really didn't care. And then, having God, it was that one time where I felt like there was consequences to my actions. Almost. And
in like a third dimensional way,
yeah, and
'Cause
someone
it's like we know if
way
we
more
eat-
powerful than I am.
Yeah, it's like if we eat pizza all the time and drink, we're gonna be fat.
Right.
But to us, it's like I'll do it because it tastes good and I like being drunk. Let's just say.
Yeah.
But like with him, or like something that's a higher thing than you almost feel like
Should I be
guilty.
doing this? Yeah.
yeah, or something like that. You
Right.
know? Yeah.
Makes you think. It makes you at least like think about it and ask yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it makes you at least stop before you do it and be like, yeah, I'm better than this.
Well,
So-
dude, and the other thing I'll say this is like, and maybe this wasn't true for you, but like, I think an example of this would be, say you don't want your friends or your family to know you're like getting hammered every night. It's a thing of like, God knows.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And dude, that's
So
truly,
you can kid all of us, but you can't.
That's
kid
like
him.
that's perfect, and that's very realistic to where I was. It's like I figured out how I could hide some things, whatever.
Yeah.
But I can never hide from him.
Yeah.
So if I want to please him, I can't hide from anyone.
Yeah.
I can't hide anything because he's, And so, yeah, my faith was, I mean, I give all glory to that. I'm not going to get too far in depth on here and get all emotional and everything, but I feel like that was God it's kind of just God. I'm just an example, I guess, of the power that God has to be able to flip a switch one day
Yeah.
Yeah.
and go from,
Well,
yeah.
and you had some hard moments to it, if I remember right. Like through the
Yeah.
winter and like early last year, you like were kind of sick with losing the weight and stuff too, and the eating and the different diet and stuff like that. Like you had some sicknesses that you went through too, right?
Yeah, and like everyone, when you do things this quickly, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thought I got sick.
Yeah.
I was sick for a week. It was
Yeah. You had something where you're taking like some vitamin that had too much copper.
and my body
Okay.
couldn't like get rid of the copper, so everyone
Yeah, that
thought
was when
I
we were
got
in-
sick and
Gotcha.
That's what we're in Lake Tahoe and you were itchy. Dude,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and his eyes were yellow and they thought his
Yeah,
liver was
and-
all messed up.
yeah, and so I did all these tests and then I just quit taking a multivitamin for
Yeah.
a couple weeks and it went away.
Dude, you
That's
know what's
crazy.
funny about that? Like,
well, because
we're drinking all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Liver's fine. You quit drinking and then bam, liver
Yeah.
problem. You're
Yeah.
like, dude, what?
I remember that. Yeah. Okay. That's what it was.
Mayday.
Yeah. I remember. It was like last fall. Like we were hunting, I think.
Yeah.
And I can't, it must have like right after hunting season or something like that. All that happened. And it was like, you were like really sick. And then the next time I saw you, like, seemed fine. Like, you'd obviously been losing
Yeah,
weight.
it
but you
was
looked-
during hunting season because we had to leave to Tahoe right in the last week of archery season.
Okay.
So that's
So
right
it would
when
have been
it
when we
was.
would have been hunting those 4 days then.
Yeah.
So, and that's, he was like, man, his liver's like not doing good stuff. And I was like,
No, it
Man,
was I would have been either extremely like very tail end of September or early October
yeah.
that I got sick because I was
Okay.
supposed to go to Phoenix early October.
Yep.
So everyone kind of thought I got sick and I lost weight because of it. Not the case. Unfortunately, I had to do things the hard way.
Right. Wish it was that easy. Just get sick. And,
Yeah, I quit washing my hands. I quit taking care of myself, hoping to get sick again, but
Corona
never
6.0.
really worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, nope, sickness wasn't it, but it just becoming extremely disciplined
Yeah.
is the way to do it.
But dude, I mean,
Nice.
not extremely disciplined doesn't even describe it. I mean, like sickly disciplined is how you were. Like you did not miss the gym. You would not eat a morsel of bad food. I remember one time offering you, like, I think we were snowmobiling and you were hungry or something. And I'm like, dude, you can have some of this. and you were not happy with me.
It was probably a
No.
powder
You're
pound panini.
You're like, are you kidding me?
Steaming hot,
Yeah.
delicious panini.
Yeah.
I'm like,
We got a freezer full. of
And
them.
he's over there
Yeah.
eating a frozen protein bar and logging it on his phone. But yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
I
you
mean-
getting mad. I mean, and you took yourself away from any situation. And I think that's really important of something that you did was taking yourself out of any situation where you could possibly lose discipline.
yeah,
Like,
because I had to yank up the floorboards and re-pour the foundation and
Yeah.
everything. And I mean, it really is one extreme to another.
dude, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And
Like overnight. I mean, for me, even being your brother, being with you every day, it felt like overnight. It was like you were doing whatever the heck you wanted to do.
but see, like the reason I had success was it wasn't a 1, 2, 3 week phase.
right.
You know,
you made it a 6-month like long-term goal. Like
Yeah.
you changed your life. You probably changed your entire lifestyle for the rest of your life is what you did.
Yeah.
Like
that's
you-
what I can only hope.
Yeah, like you dedicated yourself to it. You put your mind to it, and then like you did it. Like
Yeah.
not only did you do it, but now you learned not how to do it, but how to maintain that almost in a way. Because 6 months is a long
yeah,
time.
I mean, I
right?
learned what it takes to, because I mean, 6 months naturally, that's like,
Yeah.
that's a pretty daunting task to do it naturally
if you
without surgeries or injections or
yeah,
really anything other than God's word. But
if you sat here today and was like, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds in the next 6 months, you'd be like, I don't even know where to start.
yeah, like,
Well, or
what do
you,
I
if
do?
someone said that to you, you'd be like, yeah, right.
yeah, like,
yeah. Whatever.
Like, I'll bet you $100,000 that I can lose 100 pounds in 6 months. You're
Yeah.
like happy. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
here.
yeah, let's go. Yep. But you've done it,
Yeah.
so you know, so you can do that.
Yeah.
But dude, the thing is, I'll say this, and then I want to get into kind of how you did it. The thing that's crazy about you right now is the discipline in your life. And I think this is true with everyone. If you have strong discipline in one area, it flows over into other things in your life. And what I mean by that is at your lowest before you did this, you had no discipline to do anything.
no.
You like work wise, content wise, friend wise, family wise, like you didn't care.
Right.
But now it's like you're to work on time. You're dialed at work. You care about the people around you. You're doing all the things right.
Yeah.
all from like literally looking at yourself in the mirror one night, using the metaphor, it's like, and just saying, I'm done with this. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and whether it was, I mean, I don't feel like I could have done it without God by any means. But yeah, I mean, and you are one of the few people that have really seen everything,
Yeah.
and have been there for, the full story. And all I can do is, be grateful and hopefully help someone out someday,
Yeah. So
which I would love to do. And one of the coworkers, I'm helping, and he's having great results, and it makes me happy to.
he's lost
someone,
what,
but-
20 something pounds in
Yeah,
a month or two, or 2
Yeah.
months, or a
Yeah.
month and a half,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, and that's a hard thing. Like your willingness to help somebody, but you can't you can tell them what to do, but it's like, you got to understand, like you got to do this, right? Like you can't
Dude, but
just,
that's
the hardest
I'll
part.
say this right now. So many people, when I've been, with him, so many people will come up to him and say, I mean, we live in a small town.
Yeah.
Okay. People know what
and
you look like.
I didn't go out very much for
Yeah.
a while. So
you
no
didn't go
one-
out at all. You didn't hang out with
yeah,
anybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
no one
it was
really
like, bam.
very few people saw the here and there. It was
Dude.
more of one day it was this, the next day it was completely different.
Yeah. And but what's so funny to me about this is when people ask, and like I've heard it 100 times because I've even asked. I'm like, dude, what do we need to do? And you'll look at people and say, you don't want to do what I did.
Yeah.
Because, like, dude, the reality is it takes an extreme amount of discipline not to lose 10 pounds, but to lose 100 pounds.
Yeah. That's more than water
10
weight.
it takes 10 times the discipline to lose 100 than it did, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean anyone can lose 10 pounds. But,
Yep.
I mean, but anyone can lose 100 pounds too.
Anyone can.
But that's what's so funny. So one
League.
night we were sitting on the couch, and I just want to say this, and then I really want you to get into the people that are kind of watching this for what you did. We were sitting on the couch, and you said something that was very interesting. So many people blame it on genetics, and you were kind of fired up and passionate about it. But you say everyone says that they have good genetics or bad genetics, or they have this, or they're naturally fat, or their metabolism's slow. He's like, no, F that. He's like, I was the poster child of all those things.
Yeah.
But through discipline, anyone, no matter how slow your metabolism is or how fat your entire family is, you can get to the level that you want to be at through discipline.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Well, what we were talking about was the issue with a lot of people. They self-handicap, or, they put handicaps in their minds with anything really. I mean, snowmobiling, losing weight, work. People kind of put this, the leanest I've ever been is, they throw a number out there, and if I can get to that or get close to that, because that's comfortable, it's normal.
Yep.
It's like if you can kind of take those and not limit and handicap yourself, that I think that's where that talk stemmed from. And
just like snowmobiling too, though, it's like I'm just not good at jumping.
Yeah.
right,
It's like, okay, then yeah, you are bad at jumping. But if you're like, I'm going to learn how to jump, I don't care how scared I get, I don't care how many times I wreck, I will get up and hit it again.
I'm going to do it.
That's the thing of, in snowmobile talk, you can't limit your own self. You can let outside factors, but outside factors will limit you regardless.
right.
You can't control. You
Right.
can only control what you can control. But as long as you control everything you can control, then that's like the most you can do, right?
Yeah.
And
But
most
a
of
lot
the
people
time,
won't
that's
do that.
more than enough.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at you. You are way lean enough, and when you had a lot of, like you said, being fat your whole life. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. What would you, and you need to make a course on this, and you need to become a fitness influencer, but what, point some people in the right direction on, I want you to start first real quick, which we've hit on a lot in this podcast, but hit on it real quick again. Mindset, and then kind of the X's and O's of what you did.
Yeah, the only diet that's ever going to work is the one that you're going to stick to,
Yeah.
truly. Or it's just like if you're trying to learn bow ties or jumping on sleds.
Yeah.
The only way, you're never going to have that one conversation with someone, and then it's all just going to click. People can help you through it, but until you just go out there and pay rent every single day, it's never really going to change. And
everybody's body reacts so differently too.
Right.
Like what you did isn't going to work for me, and what I do isn't going to work for Brent.
Yeah. The best plan of whatever you're trying to accomplish in this conversation, it's weight loss or whatever, is the one that is the best plan, is the one that you are going to stick to no matter what it be. You can eat, goldfish and cigarettes and Diet Coke and lose weight if you're willing to grind goldfish, Diet Coke, and cigarettes.
Yeah. Yep.
It is just totally up to you. And, before we start talking too much about it, I really would love to help. It's like we're kind of helping out our coworker. I would really, really love to help someone who is just at like a really bad point in their life, maybe struggling with substances or something like that. And so everyone listening to this, if you need someone to relate to, someone, maybe you're at kind of an all-time low and you need someone to talk to. And I mean, I will happily coach anyone through it. It's on my bucket list. I want to help someone out really bad one day.
That's cool.
Yeah. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, just DM the page.
DM Cook Bros.
And then
Cook.bros.
Brent will get in touch with you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's on my bucket list. I really hope people reach out because I would love to help. Yeah. So
with the cigarettes and goldfish, touch on that point
That's
of
the
why
secret,
that
just
works.
cigarettes and
That's what he did.
No, it's like I could show you my tracking app because everything that I ate, I weighed. I could show you that's where the real progress is made, is in the kitchen, is staying consistent. I mean, no matter what scenario you're put in, you got to eat out sometimes. You're not in town, you're not conveniently at home where the only thing you have is chicken and rice to eat. It's being flexible, all that. But yeah, it's consistency.
But I do feel like also, like, you were big on like kind of meal prepping your stuff and having it ready for you.
Yeah. Like,
so,
how many
ride?
How many of those delicious paninis did I eat this year?
Yeah, none. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
I was so sad, but
Yeah,
I knew what you were
yeah.
doing. I always offered it, but I was like, I'm not gonna force one down his throat as much as I wanted to shove it down there. But But no, you would show up, like, we'd get in the truck and you'd have your breakfast in a bowl ready to go, right? You'd have your oatmeal.
9 pounds of oatmeal.
Yeah, 9 pounds of oatmeal with some banana and some hot sauce.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the whole
Well,
mixture,
I mean,
right?
I don't know if the camera can pick up on it, but it's just okay. They're
You're
all still-
pointed at the camera. They can't see from there.
It's all just straight. I mean, it's just staying consistent.
Jeez.
That's when I was sick. That's 2 days, but or 2 weeks.
Those
but
are all
it's-
tracking days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in. I mean, it's a lot longer than it looks.
Okay, so tell the main idea.
Like,
of
what was the diet?
Yeah.
The whole diet is just simple math. It's you're consuming less calories than you're burning. I don't care what you're eating, as long as you have a lot of protein in there. You can do it. Like a really good friend of mine, shout out to Logan, he had a huge transformation eating carnivore,
Gotcha.
which is very different than what I did. But he's eating nothing but essentially protein and fat.
Yeah. And
And
you ate
so-
a ton of carbs.
Yeah. Ton of carbs, very little fat. Which, not saying the way I did it was the best. But for, carbs are very important for muscle and everything. And just having energy and all that. So yeah, I didn't have like a super balanced diet, let's just say, but mainly protein and carbs. Yeah, a lot of chicken and rice, a lot of turkey, all that.
You wouldn't even eat beef.
Yeah, I don't even eat beef, and I love beef. And here soon, when it's bulking season, I'm gonna be eating a lot of steak. But
I've heard that though. Like, it doesn't matter what the diet is, as long as you have a diet and you stick to the diet, right?
well, and you're aware of what you're actually intaking.
yeah.
So it's
Yep.
so it's like the reason I won't eat steak. I love steak, but the reason I won't eat it is because it's really hard to measure.
Yeah.
Unless it's elk steak.
Yeah.
Super
That
lean.
I would eat that in a heartbeat.
Yep.
But the
But your
problem
brother
with steak,
sucks at hunting too. So he didn't have any
Because
else.
my guide is trash.
but that's the real reason I lost weight. I didn't have an elk.
You
full
didn't
of
have an
freezer.
elk, yeah.
Or a freezer full of elk. Yeah, so like a steak, it could have 500 calories, it could have 900. Like, you don't know how much fat's in it, or
Yep.
you don't know how it's marbleized, all that stuff.
Yep.
Which,
real
like,
difficult.
steak is extremely healthy.
Yep.
I'm not saying don't eat steak, but it's just chicken, turkey, when it's very little to no fat, what you see is what you get.
It's a lot more consistent.
Yes,
You can,
exactly.
You can track it. You can build consistency off it. Like, probably like,
And accuracy is what it is.
Yeah. Yep. And you could have a steak like one day a week or something
Yeah,
in that
and-
diet program, right? Your cheat day or whatever.
But
Yeah,
see,
but-
this is the thing. Here, let me just explain kind of the overall idea. So this is what he'd do. Okay, he'd have a certain amount of calories with certain macros that he felt that he needed to hit. Okay, protein, fat, carb within a certain. And tell me if I'm wrong. Within a certain amount of calories. Okay, so the thinking is if you want, you can eat a McDonald's Big Mac for lunch and have nothing else. You're not going to hit your macros that you want, but you would stay under the calorie goal. The problem with that is if I was on a long-term diet, I'd rather have 10 chicken breasts in a day than one Big Mac that has no nutrition in it.
Yep.
So what you would
Right.
do is you would measure rice, measure chicken, measure everything that you're doing to get it, and you got apparently very good at it, of hitting the fat that you wanted to intake every day, the carbs you wanted to intake every day, and the protein you wanted to intake every day within the calorie limit. So when you say you could have goldfish and cigarettes, you literally could. Not on a macro level. I mean, you're never going to hit your protein and stuff like that if you're trying to build muscle.
Yeah.
But on your calorie level, you could.
Right.
From a losing weight standpoint, it could work.
Right. But the problem is
that's all
that
that matters.
is there's very little satiety. There's no nutrients. There's all those things.
And you'd be going through a carton of cigarettes a day.
So is that basically what you did though?
Yeah, no, that's all it is. Like as far as like fat loss goes, it's calories in, calories out. People have proven that you can lose weight eating nothing but McDonald's or Taco Bell. But yeah, it's like you said.
But so many people
based
disagree
on my
with that.
calories, I could have like one Big Mac meal a day. And that's not very much food.
Yeah, and but everyone's like, no, dude, if you want to lose weight, you have to go high fat. You got to get on
keto.
It's
keto,
like that doesn't matter, dude.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about one certain way of eating, but when it boils down to it, it's like a bank account. If you're spending more money than you're making, eventually you're gonna get lower or higher and higher in debt. Yeah, you're gonna go into the negatives and everything. Which it's the same with fat loss. Think of it like a bank account. If you have,
I wish it was that easy because I'm pretty good at spending money.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you're in a calorie surplus, like you're bulking or whatever, or you're just eating more than you think you're eating, and you have 500 calories left over at the end of the day, that's gonna start building a savings account essentially. AKA, you're gonna get fat.
You're getting fatter.
And dude, that's the thing though, is like when you start doing this, people that are out there doing it, you can't just measure one meal or 2 meals a day, or all 3 meals, but you're forgetting the soda you drank and the ranch you put on your chicken and the cheese that you have to track
and
every single morsel of thing that goes.
Let me add another thing to that. Is also it's like, and AJ's like he's always been lean, so I don't know if you've ever like really tried to lose weight, but
I've never tried to lose weight. I've tried to gain weight.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So equally, from what I've heard, they're both equally as difficult.
God, I can't imagine. If I could put on 15 pounds in a week, I swear to God.
Yeah.
See?
I think I could put on 10 pounds in a week.
And that's my struggle is like, I just can't gain weight. Like I always wanted to be 165 pounds and I would like eat and eat and eat and eat.
Yeah. So you're
shit it out.
You're 165 right now?
I'm like 160 now.
Okay. So I mean, I guess the alternative, my losing 100 pounds would be like you kind of gaining, maybe not 100, but maybe like 50.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, to make it easy, to gain 100 pounds.
Or like, maybe 100, I don't know.
If I wanted to be like a heavyweight, like bodybuilder, like to bump up to 250, then that was like where I struggled I was like 145, 150 pounds and I could never break through that. Now I feel like I'm getting older and I can just, I've gained a little weight here and there.
It's good.
But it's taken many, many years to get to that point. I haven't been to the gym in couldn't tell you how long, but that was my problem before was I wasn't eating enough, right? Like I wasn't on a diet. I would eat enough. I just wouldn't eat like a good enough combination of things to gain weight.
Yeah. Well, and what people get mixed up is they think they're, they think that they're eating right to lose weight or eating right to gain weight or whatever. But it's like, what is that based off of? It's like when you weigh everything that you eat, and I still weigh everything that I eat. And, besides like an hour ago, we go out to dinner. I don't bring a scale to dinner, but I've eaten out like 4 times in the past year. Yeah. So it's very, very rare that I go out to eat. And I think the last time I went out to eat was probably JW Snacks when the Boondock Nation.
Oh, really? Wow.
Like it's
That's
that
crazy.
level.
Yeah. Well, and also you do it every single day. So you probably like can get a meal and you have a rough idea of like, this is what I should be eating. And your body will tell you like, okay, yep, that's.
But the last thing you want to do is weigh your food for a week. Think that you know what.
Yeah, it's got to be
1,500 calories, whatever it looks like.
Yep.
And then I'm good from here.
I'm good
because it's just a compound effect. It's subtle changes aren't so subtle when you make teeny tiny little mistakes and errors aren't that big until you make them every day.
Yeah.
And they compound on top of themselves.
It's like flying in a plane. If you're an inch off when you take off and you just stay an inch off, you're hundreds of miles off.
You're in
from
Miami.
LA to New York.
Yeah, you're in Miami instead of New York.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's get back to it. How would you recommend someone figure out what calories and macros that they need to put into their app to be able to lose weight?
I would do it sort of, I don't know. So like if you're losing weight, which here soon, hopefully in a couple months, whatever, we'll do a bulking podcast.
Yeah.
And be all
I'm all into that.
swollen
baby.
up. But
Brent's been bulking for years.
Yeah.
He's ready.
I've been bulking for 23 years and 4 months.
I'm a steak kind of guy.
Every night.
Yeah.
Every night, baby.
But yeah, so I mean, if you're listening to this and you want to lose some weight, whatever, get an app, figure out exactly what you're eating. It's just like these snowmobiles, cars, trucks, they're tuned very, very specifically for a certain reason.
The food is your fuel.
It's not just like, that's probably enough boost. That's probably enough timing. That's probably enough fuel.
Yep.
It's like, no, we got to get this right or else I'm going to blow this dude's engine up.
Yep.
And so, if you're cutting, you can drop the calories pretty low, pretty quick. It just depends what you're starting at. I was like mid 260s, high 260s, whatever, when I started. So I started at about 16 to 1800 a day.
Which is less than you think.
That's not much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you do it day after day after day,
Especially with two
deplete yourself.
Midwest corn-fed hogs like us. I mean, I can put 1,600 calories down in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I still can. But
Yeah.
A powder bound panini.
Yeah.
Done.
And a bag of Flamin' Hot Munchies and a cold soda, and you're there.
And a 12 racket Diet Coke. There. Yeah.
Diet Coke.
No, get back to how they should figure it out.
I don't have and I'm not a trainer. This is just what I did and what I would recommend to someone. If you're, start it at around, it's like our coworker, I said, start at 1,800, get sort of used to that a little bit. Make sure the scale is going in the right direction at a good rate. And then from there, we'll start ramping it down. But we haven't gotten to that point where we're going to ramp it down yet. So,
because he's been losing a bunch of weight.
to some people, if you're 450 pounds, you might want to start off eating 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
But for me, I was 260. So to put it in reference here, I'm usually sitting comfortably 220, 230. I was pushing 270. And I, to begin, I just wanted to get back to about 220. And so I'm like, I started 1,800. And then I wrote a lot of this down because I really do want to help someone out someday. So if anyone out there needs help with anything that we've talked about, please reach out. I wasn't doing cardio, just a lot of weightlifting.
Well, and that has a factor too. Like exercise plays a huge factor in this, right? You have to be burning these calories. You can't just be, diet is a huge part, but you got to be actually burning calories with this to go as fast as you went as well.
Yeah. So for the first, probably, I'm trying to think here. When did I start doing cardio? It was around beginning of December. So for the first 3 months, whatever.
Okay.
I didn't do any cardio. It was just simply weightlifting. You don't have to go to the gym in order to lose weight. And even I don't know, 100 pounds in 6 months without going to the gym. I'm sure it's probably doable. But it's when you get back in the gym, especially when you get, in your mid 20s or whatever, getting back in the gym kind of gets you into that athlete's mindset of wanting to perform well and see results and everything. And so I think going to the gym and lifting weights is a very important part.
It's a mental thing.
Yeah, it's a mental thing. It's like
you're not going to go to the gym and work your butt off and then go home and eat a cheeseburger.
It's or you're not going to drink, you're not going to get all messed up because you got cardio at 6 a.m. or, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And
it's also having that place to go to that okay, we're going to go put some work in. We're going to go, lift.
Yeah.
Where for us with wintertime, you're not going to go on 2 runs a day or anything like that outside. mentally you're going to be like, it's negative 25 out. I'm not going for a run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having a gym, this is like where you go do work.
Yeah.
It's like people that work from home. They're not as productive as going to an office. Same thing as having that gym to where like I'm going there for an hour, whether I'm lifting, running, rowing, whatever.
Well, in you know, like naturally when you're in a
Reels.
corn pecan.
Yeah. Whether you're hunting, lifting, or running.
No, it kind of gets you in that athlete mindset again, which we all need.
Yeah.
Is fantastic for all of us. But also it's like, you know, if you're going to go into a hard deficit like I have, like your body is going to get rid of muscle, like, because our bodies are built to survive. But
it shocked me after we went and filmed that video how much muscle, after that aggressive of weight loss, how much muscle you still have. I mean, your shoulders look big and
you're
jacked.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Well, yeah, but
no.
Did you see what I did?
Well, no, like, did you see what I used to be like in Junction? I was much stronger back then.
yeah.
So, but like, that's just part of the process. I also didn't think that I would lose this much. I don't know why I did.
So where are you at right now?
I'm like low 170s right now.
Okay. Are you pretty happy? Like you're not happy there. No. You want to be less weight? You
Dude,
want to be
I don't
bigger
know.
muscle? Like what are you like searching for?
I'm just always looking for God, as Theo wanted to say. What did he say in that one video where he's talking to some fans? He's like, just looking for the Lord, baby. Yeah. No, it's body dysmorphia, obviously. If you don't have it now, if you do what I've done, you will have it. But like, it's like
you were happy. Like at some point, you were fine with being 270, right? Yeah. And now you're 170. You would do anything in that point to snap your fingers and lose that much weight. But now you're there, and now it's still not good enough.
Yeah, and I hate to say this because if someone would have come to me 6-7 months ago, whatever, and you know, explain to me what the next 6 or 7 months holds, I wouldn't have believed them. But yeah, I mean, you're working for your future self, and you have to be working for you and not for someone or something. You know, just staying extremely disciplined. So I eventually, just to like give a brief rundown, please message us. I would love to help someone. Started 1800, no cardio, no nothing, just weights. And then
16 to 18 calories.
16 to 1800 calories. Yeah. Then around like Thanksgiving-ish or so, I dropped it to 1500. I believe I can go back in there and look. About 1500 started to do cardio. At one point there for like 2 months, I was doing gym and then two a days on cardio. So about hour and a half on the treadmill every day. Oof. Did that for a bit. And then early January, I dropped to 1300 calories. 13, dude,
that's rough.
Not much. It's like a dinner tonight.
That's like 6 beers and you're gone.
Well, no. It's like you go out to Mexican food, you get queso and chips and drinks and stuff. You're at 1300 before your food gets there.
Yeah.
Like 1300 is not much food at all, especially day after day. You know, having a light day and only eating 1300 once.
We'll get through it.
Which, you know, he can really relate to because we've always been ran heavy. I mean, we're big boned. Yeah. It's not fat. That
big bone and pure muscle.
Bone.
Just bone.
Yeah.
A lot of bone weight.
Yeah, we're naturally, bigger, but also stronger, I think, than most people.
Yeah.
Which comes with being bigger.
Yeah, like if we went to the gym right now, I guarantee you could outlift me. But I could outrun you and outdiet you and
So we made this
smoke cigarettes.
We made this bet to hike over by where we hunt.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. And there's some money on the line.
Yeah.
and we both have to wear packs.
Okay.
So he's in way better shape.
We're both wearing packs?
Well, yeah, or I guess we don't have to. I mean, I naturally am wearing a pack, but you don't have to. But this is what he forgot. I got a Suron now.
I was gonna say, are we doing the Suron game then? Because I'll beat you both up there.
Yeah.
I'll pass you on the first corner.
Especially considering mine's already broken. Anyway, so go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we can still do that if you want. But
It'd be interesting.
I've been hiking for a while now.
It would be more of like interesting to see
saying,
how
like,
fast you'll beat me. Like that's what would be interesting to me.
Your brother's gonna have his Sitka on. He's gonna have his Hoka shoes on. And he's just gonna
I have my
there.
Skechers hiking boots on, and I'm
Yeah, that's actually what he
running
wears.
shorts. And
trying to scoop a little beta alanine and go after it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
Yeah,
good.
no, we can definitely do that.
We
if
should
you
do
want.
that. Yeah, no, that could be a good little bit on a video actually,
Oh,
like an
God.
evening little hike.
But it's like, what is the
That's
next?
a death march, dude.
Yeah, like what is the next 3? Dude, think about that. That's like 3 months away.
Yeah,
Hunting.
What is that next 3 months for you gonna look like versus? Because me,
Eating
I'm
steak.
probably gonna be putting on some muscle and fat and or not, probably not.
Yeah, you'll probably keep.
we
don't
bought
know.
bikes that don't have pedals, so
Yeah.
we ain't gonna be losing any weight. I know that.
So it's me versus a.
I don't know,
battery.
dude.
Yeah.
I was breathing real hard after the other day on that bike.
You ran like a little 5-minute session there in the bike park, and you're like,
Yeah, we were
like,
hitting the
"Damn,
jumps.
dude."
It's like whipping over the jumps and stuff, and I'm like, holy cow.
dead.
Yeah. Okay, back on track.
What about the gym?
Yeah.
Like, what were you doing in the gym? I think we hit the food pretty good. I think you hit your calories really good. Like, what?
Yeah. So
what were you hitting in the
Let
gym?
me
Like,
give just a quick summary, and then I'll get to the gym. So if anyone out there's listening to this, they're in the truck on the road, sitting around watching it on YouTube or whatever it is, and you want to lose weight. Step 1 is get started. Do it tomorrow. Don't wait till Monday. Unless you're watching this on a Sunday night, don't wait till tomorrow. Get going. You'll be glad you did. Trust me. Step 1 is jumping in the water, getting going. Next is having a plan. Kind of like what we touched on. Calories are most important. Calories are number 1. Number 2, depending on what it all just depends on your goals, right? And how quickly you want to get there. But 1 is calories. 2 is getting enough protein in, which you don't have to get as much as people probably think. But protein is second most important. And then your carbs and fats will fall in line from there. Okay, so you have that. You have a decent idea of the diet. You started. Congrats, you're that far. That's the hardest part. Now we'll talk about the gym and everything. Lifting. I mean, I am not quite I don't have nearly as much muscle and strength as I used to, but I still think for that aggressive of a cut, I still have a decent amount left. I mean,
a lot.
It's all based on our perspective, right? But
Muscle goes faster than fat.
yeah, I mean, if your body's in a pinch, as far as I know, I'm no nutritionist or trainer, but yeah, it can break down muscle easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're fighting to get fat off, and you're trying to just hold on to as much muscle as you can. You'll put on a little muscle in the beginning, the honeymoon phase. That's natural, but then eventually, it's just gonna slowly dwindle. In best case scenario, you're just gonna stay even, but
well, you
depends how long
just
do
kind
it
of
for.
lose strength when you lose that weight, right? Like you're just naturally.
Yeah,
gonna
well,
lose that.
you're gonna lose strength. You're gonna lose energy and everything. So, so you've started. You got your diet right. The weights. The big reason I recommend weights is you can lose. I mean, if you lost 100 pounds, or 80 or 50 or 20 or whatever it is, not hitting the weights, yeah, you can still lose it and everything. But it's like if you're trying to look to become skinny, or if you're trying to have a little more of a transformation, one of them is going to be he got sick, poor kid, he got some terrible disease and can't go out and play with his friends and has to sit home and not eat all day. But I mean, to reach the goals I wanted to includes muscle And
I think for everyone it does.
yeah, for everyone. I mean, putting on muscle, that's you have to have both. The only reason we lose fat is to show the muscle a little bit more, essentially.
And be healthier.
Yeah. So yeah, the gym I would highly recommend it. I'm not saying I would go without it. Or I'm not saying that if you're not willing to go to the gym, I wouldn't even try, but it's a huge ordeal or a huge,
Booster.
yeah, it's a huge thing to get you going and get you on track. And it's not easy to get back into the gym. I could tell you stories of just terrible, feeling just miserable in the gym, but you just have to show up every day and give 100% effort. And 100% effort every day still looks different, but 100% effort is what you're shooting for.
I mean, I would say that you like going to the gym now, don't you think?
Yeah, there's days I like it more than others.
Yeah. But it's not a struggle to get you to go.
No, and I've never been like, yeah, let's take an off day. And I mean, yeah, I have Sundays, that's God's day. I don't lift on Sundays, but I haven't just said, yeah, let's throw the towel in. I'm too tired. So I don't really know, but yeah, I mean, I like going to the gym, fight out, get some time alone, and definitely good for physical and mental health for sure. So yeah. And then, so yeah, you get started. Number one, get your diet, get your exercising right. And then the hard part comes in, and that is not being a weekday dieter or a weekday lifter, and destroying your progress on the weekends. It's staying consistent. It's not having cheat meals, or it's doing very, very, very few, depending on how fast you want to get there. Faster the car goes, the faster you're going to get where you're going, but the more gas you're going to burn through. And by gas, that would mean your ability to stick to it.
But I think that's crucial. Like, dude, I remember doing that. I diet so hard during the week and then go out to the golf course with the fellas and drink beer and eat bad food out there. And you can ruin a whole week's progress real quick.
Destroy it all.
Yeah.
Easy, yeah. Because if you're on track to lose a pound that week or a pound and a half, you can kill, 3,000-4,000 calories worth of stuff in one day.
Yeah.
Or one meal. So yeah, it's sticking to it and playing the long game and just knowing that the future self is going to be very, very grateful that you started and stuck to it. And yeah, I mean, it's like I could count cheat meals on like a couple fingers.
Yeah. In a long period of time.
Yeah. And it's not like a, cheat meal every Friday night. I mean, you can do that, but that's not what I did.
Yeah, and I remember you didn't even want to travel because it was too much of a pain. And too much of a risk that you'd eat something bad.
I mean,
you were locked in, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
And in the long scheme of
But
things.
like the difference between being completely locked in versus where I'm at today is like now I will go out to dinner and eat chicken and rice in a restaurant versus like staying at home alone.
Yeah. You can enjoy life a little bit again.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm not trying to get like so severe that I get afraid to go out in public.
Yeah. But I think that's something.
I don't want to be like Howie from Bitchwarmers. I'm sitting in my closet.
He's afraid of the sun.
Eating sunblock.
Yeah. I think that's important though for the listeners too that are like looking to get into this. Out of, I don't know how old you are exactly, but out of 24 years of your life, you dedicated 6 months, and out of, all those years, this 6 months has put you in the happiest place you probably are body wise.
Yeah.
And then now
mind and body.
Yeah.
I mean,
all together.
Yeah. It's like the only bigger change than physically, I think, is mentally.
Yeah.
I've
100%.
had. I've never been as happy as I am now and, content, but also, I still am chasing goals and everything, and I'm not done, and just pray to God can keep going and live out his plan.
Yep. But now, I mean, you put in that work for 6 months. You met a goal, right? You did you lost your 100 pounds. And then even though that wasn't the goal, you didn't really have that as a goal. But like that was a huge achievement.
I never,
that you met, right?
Okay, so so one thing that I'm a little bit different on, I never had goals. I never wanted to define where a finish line was. Still don't. And that's probably starting to become a problem for me now, but I never had a goal. The only like goal I had was weigh 200 pounds by Christmas. And I hit on Christmas Eve, or maybe it was Christmas morning, I hit 199.9 or 199.6.
Wow.
And I still have a screenshot of it. And that was my big goal, my only goal, because I didn't want to define where I should stop or let off the gas. And so, I mean, sticking to it is going to be the hardest part. I don't know how to, it's like for me I was almost kind of punishing myself. I didn't, it's like I realized how much I've screwed up in the past, I don't want to put a time frame on it, but I've done a lot of things I shouldn't have done as far as eating and drinking and this, that, and the other. I could keep going on and on, but it was almost like I was kind of like punishing myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I kind of went ghost and just focused on me and what I was doing for a good while. And it's like if you're overweight and everything, you've had the good moments, you've had the fun, you've had the partying, you've had eating good, and if you want to get to where you want to be, it's like, there's going to be probably a little bit of suffering, and so you got to be prepared. And then you got to be able to push through it.
I think that then puts you into that mindset change, right? Like you're to your new normal now. Like this is your new normal of what you're doing.
Yeah.
The 6 months was the grind. You're now in your new normal. You could go back to that old person drinking, partying, everything, right? And go right back to that path. But you put all that work in. This is now your new normal. And I think that's the mindset change that I see in you is like, that is literally your mindset now is you're not going back to that person. You want to stay a better person is what your goal is.
People can change. Brains can be rewired, I believe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't have any plans. All I know is today I'm going to do well. Tomorrow I'm going to do well. And that cycle just keeps repeating itself.
I love it.
One day at a time and just put your head down, put the hoodie on and get to work. And I think everyone can kind of figure out hacks that their brain likes and what makes them stick to it. Everyone's a little bit different. And so you kind of just have to figure out, you have to define your why reason. Why am I doing this? Why it's 5:30, I've got to do cardio and then drive an hour to work, or why am I doing this? It's so easy to just be like, well, But so when you ask yourself that why, and that why is going to pop up a lot. Why would I go to the gym when I could just be comfy sitting on the couch at home watching Netflix and ordering food or whatever? Like, why? Like, you have got to define your why and know it so well that you don't even have to think about it. That's the hardest part is why keep going. So you have to, your why reasons got to be very, very clear. Whatever that might look like. Some people it's a number, some people it's the man that looks back at them in the mirror. Whatever it might be, you have to define that why. Maybe you're doing it for your kids, your family, your spouse, your whatever.
Your faith.
You only get, it's like the saying goes that hit me pretty hard. It was at a store in Vegas last time I was in Vegas, and it was something along the lines of this is not your practice life, so get to it, or something along those lines of like you don't get two takes at this. You can't restart. You're only going to be in your 20s once. You're only going to be in your 30s once. You're only going to, or maybe you're listening to this and you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. You still only get one shot here on this earth. So that's kind of a big part of it for me. And I was like, I'm going in the wrong direction. So if anyone out there, if I can I mean, I would love to kind of like hold someone's hand through their process. I will happily help in any way I can. So if anyone out there struggles with anything, with losing weight, with substance, any of that, faith, anything, like, we're always here to talk.
Yeah.
So just reach out to us. We would love to get in contact with some of you guys and
help them out.
Yeah. That's the other thing. We try to respond to people.
Yeah.
But especially on Instagram, it's like, even when we're not posting, like, we get a lot of messages.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, but we will do better.
It's always do better.
We will do better, brother.
yeah.
I don't know why my finger just went up.
What else did we
shout
want
out
to
to
touch on?
Adge's broken finger that he's holding the
I
mic.
got the old one finger up.
Yeah.
I
think that's a good place to close it out, unless you have some
I
kind of
love
final
the
thoughts
why,
you want to
dude.
wrap her up with.
The why is a big deal.
Yeah. You gotta define your why. And like where I learned that, I didn't invent that by any means, but I've used it a lot. And everyone's why looks different, but that comes from David Goggins.
Yeah.
And it's in his example in the book, it's like in SEAL training, it's going through Hell Week, it's going through all these difficult situations where it's so much easier to give up.
Yeah.
And so you have, like, going into that kind of training, you have to have an extremely clear why reason, whatever it might be. Everyone's brains like different why reasons. Everyone's been through certain things, and so maybe that's your why. But having a why is the second most, right behind getting started. That's always going to be number one, is getting started and having a good why reason to help you stick to it.
Bingo. I love
That's
it.
the way.
It sounds good to me.
And
I like it.
I hate for this podcast to mostly be all about me, but
Well, it is about you.
yeah.
It is
but-
about you. We're proud of you.
but-
Like, this is your spotlight. We're proud of you.
Yeah,
and,
well-
glad to see you make the change and see you happy.
Well, thanks, you guys. And I apologize for every time I've gotten short-tempered on the mountain, because I was just really, really, really hungry.
Yep.
So
I'm just gonna shove paninis down your throat this winter, so be ready.
yeah, if we're bulking this winter, we're gonna be eating like kings on the mountain.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we're
Cook some
proud of
steaks
you.
up there.
Well,
I
thank
know,
you.
I know the whole family and all your friends around you and coworkers and everything are proud of you. So
Yeah,
you've been
and
an inspiration to all of us for sure.
well, thank you. And once again, if anyone out there, if I or us can help in any way at all, please reach out. That would really, really make my day, is to help someone out.
Yeah.
Or make my life, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like, and so hopefully one of these days, make it a reality. So
Yeah. So I think are we good?
Yeah. Like, subscribe,
Yeah.
follow, do all the 5
Yeah.
stars, all the stuff on the channels.
Yeah.
And
thanks for listening.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
link for Blackbird is in the description. Forgot to say that in the beginning.
Yep. And be on the lookout for the new YouTube video coming out soon.
Yeah. On
Okay.
our other channel. Oh yeah, we're leaving the other channel link in the description.
Yes.
For those of you who subscribed off the last pod, we really appreciate
Yes.
it.
Thank you.
And let us know. I'm not gonna like make this a huge deal, but it really would be fun to let us know if you guys want to see fitness content.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of you out there are going through
Yeah.
the same battles we are. I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like
Yeah.
get in the gym together and, and it just, I mean, I think it would be funny because you'd have, brothers that,
Can talk massive amounts of shit to
Yeah.
each other.
yeah.
Camera guy.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
a brother, so camera guy.
And Brad's over there looking like an athlete, and I'm over there. Oh, jeez.
Just got an eating cheese curds.
Yeah. Do you want to be able to pull that tree line this year or not?
Yeah.
Not really.
I hate
not
trees.
that bad.
I'm really not a tree rider. So I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you listening.
Yeah. Thanks.
And
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the pod, Moto. We really, really appreciate it. We're proud of you.
Yeah. Hopefully, I can get on more of these this summer, and And yeah, hopefully, I don't know, here soon, maybe we'll have one about someone else's journey on the podcast or
on the Let's Assess show.
You know, we'll have, it'll be a good time one way or another. So,
Yep. So
Thanks,
subscribe, leave a comment. We appreciate it. Thanks, Brett, for hopping on.
Thanks.
Until next
Thanks
time.
to you guys.
See ya.
Yep. Let her eat.
We'll see ya.